All right. This is Scare Talk. I am Danny and I'm here with Joel the Jackal.
Hey guys, what's up? That is a random one.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find
Yeah.
over at Crystal Lake. You
True.
might find Jason. You also might find Joel the Jackal. All right. So we're back. This is the final installment of the Friday the 13th franchise, and it is the remake, kind of,
Yeah, of three
from
of them.
2009, just simply titled Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And Joel, let us know who's a part of it.
All right. So this one stars Jared Padalecki. He is Clay. We got Danielle Panabaker. She's Jenna. And Amanda Rigetti. She's Whitney, who is Clay's sister. And we got a new Jason, Derek Mears, as Jason Voorhees. It's written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. It also says Victor Miller, but it's not. We got Marcus Nispel as our director.
All right.
Unspelled.
We got a group of young adults. They visit a boarded up campsite named Crystal Lake, where they soon encounter the mysterious Jason Voorhees and his deadly intentions. I mean, they're not going there to visit the camp. That's not like why they're there.
Did that explain the first 15 minutes, or did that explain the whole rest of the movie?
Well, let's stay away from that, because I think that's a spoiler.
Because that feels very like the
beginning
part of
yeah. So, speaking of, we're going to stay away from spoilers.
Yeah,
there is a spoiler pretty quickly into the movie, where it kind of just makes you feel like it's going to be like this, and then kind of goes in a different direction.
Yeah.
It's not like a big, huge twist or anything, but you don't want to know going in. So we'll stay away from that. And there's some other details of this movie that are pretty cool that we'll try to steer clear of, because it has some differences, some glaring differences when it comes to the rest of the franchise, without getting out of hand. We're not going to space, or there's no Jason curse, and we're not talking about those kind of differences. But Jason has some more skills that we didn't know he had. And so we'll talk about that in the spoilers. And if you want to hear all of that talk and some trivia and fun facts, then you're going to want to go to patreon.com/scaretalk, where you get all that extra content for each episode, and you get exclusive episodes, and you get early access, and you get shout outs too. We put your name at the end of each episode to shout you out, and it starts at 99 cents a month. So go check it out. The link will be in the description. So we make it nice and easy for you to go see what's over there. And please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Apple or Spotify, you can also follow and subscribe to the show. We're just trying to get our name out there more. We have hundreds of episodes, and we're just trying to grow the audience. So let everybody know about it. All right. So first of all, I do like what we're referring to as the spoiler at the beginning of the movie. I like that. I think that was a smart thing to do, because there was a number of remakes back at this time. We had the Texas Chainsaw remake. Yeah, we had this. Rob Zombie redid his Halloween. We had Nightmare on Elm Street. We had The Hills Have Eyes. We had The Omen. There were so many remakes around this time. Platinum Dunes pretty much ruled the remakes.
The mid 2000s was a wild time for horror.
Yeah. So we could do a whole episode just on remakes, like a tier ranking or top 10 remakes or something. We could do that, and we'd have plenty to choose from. So I do like that they were like, oh, this is what you think you're going to get out of a Friday the 13th movie. And then kind of pivot a little bit. Not too far, but pivot a little bit. So that's good. There is more of a story, especially for one of the characters. Well, two of the characters, I guess, that are related. So I like that. The biggest thing that people always talk about with this movie that they absolutely hate is that one like jerk character. I can't think of his name.
Oh, I think it's Trent.
Trent. Yes.
Yeah.
People hate that.
Even has a jerk name.
It like really ruins the movie for them.
He's not nearly as bad as some other characters in this franchise.
Yeah. I mean, what about the chocolate bar guy?
I mean, he is definitely Joey. He definitely is a jerk, and you know, not a huge fan of his character, but he wasn't written bad. That's the difference for me. He's not a joke of a character. He's just a jerk. And like his lines weren't written horribly. Like all the actors did. It did. Yeah. All the actors did a great job, I thought, in this movie. Like this was not a funny movie. Was not a mid, Friday the 13th, like when from like 4 to 8 when it was just basically just a joke.
Yeah.
This brought it back down to what the franchise started as.
Yeah.
And made it a lot scarier than the franchise has ever been.
Definitely one of the scariest of all of them. I think the performance of Jason is great.
Yeah.
He's actually scary in this one. And he's got, like I had mentioned, he's got these skills that are pretty cool. He's almost like a wild mountain man, living out in the wilderness. He almost feels like who a person might become. Living off the land and being Jason Voorhees, like how he survived, and it feels a little more realistic, and it still has his backstory too. They don't completely change that, but they don't beat you over the head with it, and they don't show it. They're not gonna do this big flashback, and we're gonna have to see it all again, like we already know, and so I think it gets to the point, gets you introduced to the characters. There's some cliche characters, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
You gotta have that in a slasher.
Yeah.
Got the ditzy girl, you got the jerk, you got the stoner, and then you've got the couple of them that are decent human beings. And aren't cartoons.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you kind of root for. So.
I will say, not to give anything away because this is kind of a spoiler. I was surprised by one of the kills towards the end of the movie.
Okay.
I was very surprised. I was like, "Wow, okay, you're doing it that way. All right, that's
interesting. We'll talk about that later.
It was,
actually, you're doing it like that. Okay.
Pleasant surprise.
Oh man.
because you know it doesn't. They don't usually do stuff like that. So, but yeah, that will definitely be for later. Talked
Okay.
about for sure.
Yeah. Um, the acting is pretty good. You
Mhm.
know, nothing really, no real bad acting. The writing is fine. It's
Yeah.
passable for what it is.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I do think there's some more going on. You know,
Yeah.
with some of the backstories and motivations of some of the characters are a little more interesting. You're kind of
Hmm.
rooting for them more than like previous films.
Yeah.
So there's more stakes to it, which is nice for a slasher. You gotta have like characters that you don't want to die, and you gotta
Hmm.
have characters that you do want to die. So you get both, and you get
Yeah.
both of
Oh yeah.
those in this one. Um, yeah, I mean it's pretty good. The the negatives that I would say are like, it's nothing that we haven't seen before as far as
Yeah.
slashers go. It's Friday the 13th. It's, not complicated. It's not
Mm.
great writing or, super inventive you know, directions that it goes, but it goes
Yeah.
in unique enough directions for this franchise to make it stand out.
Hmm.
So, it's no masterpiece, but it's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, as
Yeah.
far as negatives, I don't really have
I don't
anything to
either.
complain about.
Yeah, there's usually something, some like little nitpick something,
Yeah,
um, that I can find in these movies. But honestly, like, yeah, um, just so you know, this is probably gonna get my highest score of the franchise.
okay,
Uh, so that kind of tells you where this one falls with me.
yeah,
Um, I so this is what I want for future Friday movies. Like I want
hmm,
this level of like the writing doesn't have to be great. Like it's it has to be passable for a slasher movie. Acting has to like deliver, and you need characters that you want to die and characters that you want to root for. Just like
hmm,
this, like just and honestly, it's not that difficult of a concept. Like
yeah,
Friday the 13th, it sucks that we've had to wait this long, as long as we have to have another movie. But that's because of lawsuits and all that. So it's
yeah,
not really about making the movie itself.
right,
um, but yeah, I hope from here on out we get movies or TV show in the same quality that we've gotten this.
yeah, yeah. This one definitely has that higher quality, like mid late 2000s quality, like just production value. It
Hmm.
looks good,
Yeah,
and it's crazy to think of where it started to then 2009 and the
yeah,
difference with you know
yeah.
I mean that's like a 30-year difference, so
Hmm.
it's very apparent
Yeah.
when it comes to just the way it looks, the way it's acted, the way it's written, like just everything is very, very different.
Even the way it looks between Jason X and that one, that was
Yeah,
only like a 6 year difference,
yeah,
7 year
yeah,
difference, and even that, like, and that wasn't a cheaply that was an $11 million movie, Jason X. So
yeah.
it's not, it wasn't cheaply made. Like, it wasn't supposed to
It
look
looked
cheaply
so
made.
cheap.
It did, but like that was only a 7 year difference
Yeah.
in years, and that's crazy how even that how big of a difference that could be.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing at this time, but I know Platinum Dunes, they turned out these remakes and they were like cheaply
Yeah.
done, like as far as two theater horror films are concerned. They were not
Yeah.
very expensive, and I think they, for the most part, were very successful. It was kind of like the Blumhouse of today. Like it's like Blumhouse is the
Hmm.
Platinum Dunes of today.
Yeah.
Um, they make movies. They make horror movies. They make them with a relatively small budget, and they make profit.
Hmm.
I would say these remakes are better than a lot of what Blumhouse is doing currently.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, go back to those remakes. I listed a number of them off, but there's even more of them. Go back and watch those if you haven't seen them, because for the most part, they're pretty good. I would
Hmm.
say there's more hits than misses when it comes to those.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't seen the originals, because I hadn't seen like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I hadn't seen the original before watching the remake.
Hmm.
You don't need to. So
You don't.
yeah, go back
It's
and
a,
watch some of those.
those movies in particular, man. That's insane how, because you look back at like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there was no blood whatsoever in that entire
Mm-hmm.
movie, but it
Mm-hmm.
felt dirty. It felt like there
Yeah.
was like the whole movie was just like filled in blood and like
Yeah.
death and everything. Um, and then yeah, the fact that you didn't need that, but then it's also helpful to have that
Yeah.
in a remake type of a setting. It's just like
Yeah.
two very different while being the same movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. It was a cool time to
mhm.
see, especially for our age too, because we were in our like late teens, early 20s. Um, when these were coming out. So we were like
Mhm.
old enough to go to the theater, on
Yeah.
our own,
Mhm.
um, and kind of experience these old classic horror films for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people our age at that time had seen some of these classics, but it was
Mhm.
almost like the classics came back and now there are classics.
Yeah.
Like I think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the remake. Like that's my version.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that this Friday the 13th is, you know, I wouldn't say this is like my Friday the 13th. I wouldn't say that. I don't
Mhm.
hold this franchise that close to my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
but but yeah, it was a cool time for all these
Mhm.
movies. Um but yeah, like negatives, it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could expect beyond what we got.
Mhm.
And what we got was fine.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm not going to give it like a perfect score or anything,
Mhm.
but I got what I expected out of the
Yeah.
movie, and there's no glaring negatives.
Mhm.
Like even as far as the plot goes, like I don't remember any holes.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's some obvious unrealistic stuff going on, but
It's
I'm not gonna
it's a Jason
knock it
movie.
for that.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so
Yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah. This one it's tough because we've literally talked about everything that we possibly could talk about with this movie. We've talked about in one of the other movies somewhere down the line.
yeah,
Because like I said,
yeah,
this is a remake of 3 movies. So
yeah,
we've already talked about The Mask. We've already talked about his mom. We've already talked about um just him being a killer in general.
yeah,
Like it's all been
yeah,
talked about, but we're seeing we're seeing 3 movies in one in this, and
yeah,
I love how they do that. Like you could say that it's overstuffed, like when you do stuff like that, but you're taking elements from different movies, Like you're taking the mask from 3 and putting it into
Yeah.
this. You're taking the mom from 1, putting it into this.
Yeah.
You're not making 3 movies in one. You're just taking
Right.
elements from different ones that you don't need to have a full movie about. Like it's
and while making it its own too.
yeah.
Because it has pretty important stuff in the film that is unique to this
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that it's titled Friday the 13th as if it's a remake. Because I feel like it's more so its own thing than it is a remake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just has the same stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it does its own thing with it. So
I wonder if they were planning on making more of these movies.
yeah,
Because I feel like this had to have been huge to box office. Like this is like they
maybe
had
we
to have
will
made
learn
money. And yeah, we're like, yeah, let's restart the franchise again. Because we haven't had a franchise since Jason X. Well, actually since Freddy vs. Jason. But that was still 6 years or so.
Yeah.
So and that wasn't even a Jason movie. That was more Freddy than Jason. So yeah, it would have been cool to restart the franchise with this movie going forward.
Yeah, I don't know when all the argument started over the rights
rights,
and right to Jason or the right to
mm-hmm.
the name or the story or whatever they're fighting about. I don't know when that started.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they were planning to start the franchise over. Like maybe this was more of like a reboot.
Yeah,
and they just got kind of stuck in court, and we never got a part 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the critics. So the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. This is the critics' score. What do you think?
I think this is going to get the best score of them all so far. I would hope. I would like to think anyway. I'm going to say a 6.2.
So a 62 for
62.
the tomato meter.
Yeah.
It's actually flipped. It's 26.
What? I don't understand you people. I don't. I don't get it.
The critics.
What do you want in a Friday movie? Like what? This delivered everything. This literally had everything. It even had overextended sex scenes. Multiple.
Overextended for sure.
It had blood. It had it had everything in this movie that a Friday the 13th movie has, but done better. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Popcorn meter.
Well, wow. Based off of that, I don't know. Because they haven't been too far off from each other. So, from the other movies. So maybe a 33.
47.
Yeah, still low. That's still too low. Come on.
All right. Now IMDb.
A 6.8.
5.5.
It's too high. Yeah. Man, none of these movies have done good.
Yeah.
Besides the first one, for some strange reason.
It was
a fourth one.
Mm-hmm. The first, the fourth, and the sixth all were in the 6s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing above like 6.5.
Yeah. Even in the 6s, but it's still that's crazy.
All right, what are we gonna rate?
This is better than all 3 of those movies, but whatever. In my opinion, at least. I'm gonna give this one a 90. I think it's
90.
my first 90 of the franchise.
All right. You really like this one.
I do.
All right. I'm gonna go 85. I'll go 85.
Oh,
I like it.
not your
It's
favorite because you have given one in the 90s.
yes,
So.
I have. This is a rewatchable movie. Like I could just throw this on, have some fun with it, you know. It's a good slasher. I do think the sex scene is a little much. It kind of like changes the movie completely. It's like, okay, can we get back to the movie? So it's a little long, but it's also kind of funny too. So just Trent, you kind of.
I was wondering which one you're talking about because there's multiple.
Yeah,
there's like two pretty long sex scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about one with Trent specifically.
Yeah. And it's funny. You're not. You guys haven't started the show. Hopefully, you will at some point. But the girl or girlfriend, not girlfriend, because that's not like who he's having sex with, is in multiple seasons of Cobra Kai.
Oh, really?
Like, I've seen you in Friday the 13th.
I saw you naked.
Yeah. This is the mom of one of the kids. Like, yeah.
That's funny. It's the mom.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so good one. Go watch it. Go watch all those remakes like I was talking about. Let us know what you think of this one and some of those other remakes. Let us know if you want us to review any of the remakes or do a tier ranking of horror remakes. I think that would be fun. And we're going to go to Patreon and talk about some spoilers and some fun facts. So join us over there. Patreon.com/scare talk. It will be in the description below as well. And that's it. We'll see you next time for the Friday the 13th tier list ranking. See you then.
Oh, yeah.